What's up, guys? Holding Alex with you here, bringing you Goblin Slayer anime review, episode 9. This episode was pretty intense, not just because of the battle, but some of the dialogue that went down and the emotion and the discussion that went behind it. Basically, as they continue in their underground quest that the Sword Maiden gave them, that mirror that they found last week, they found out that somebody placed that there. And this is what the goblins are using to come in and out and teleporting and how they, know stuff. And as they're discussing this, a herd of goblins and the goblin champion are running down the hallway to come into this room to reclaim it back. Since the guardian of that room, they just killed it. Which was that big eye monster. So, they barricaded the room and made little sections for them to hide under and stuff. And where most of them are fighting the goblins, we had female MC and the dragon lizard basically trying to knock the mirror off the hinges of where it was at. And after some epic battling and things that went down and stuff between the goblins and Slayer and his group and the goblins, the lizard man and the female MC was able to succeed in bringing down the mirror. And the lizard man and his summoning, the dragon skull, was holding the mirror where everybody took cover under it, because the main reason why Goblin Slayer wanted that mirror off the wall is because they were supposed to all hide under the mirror while they break the ceiling to make the whole thing just collapse. And that's basically how they killed all the goblins and the champion. Then this is when things get very interesting, because the Goblin Slayer went to the Sword Maiden after all this and reported that somebody had planted there, and that white alligator was a summoning that someone had put there to try to scare them away. And that's the reason why they have no rats or any other type of things, or why adventurers stay away from that underground place, and why nobody had put any type of hunting grounds on it. Warning sign, there's no guards protecting that under part and stuff like that. He was like, somebody's setting this up. And he's told the Sword Maiden, you. And she was like, you suspect me? And he was like, yeah. And basically, he was right. The Sword Maiden was the one who did this. And, a lot of us probably like, okay, why would she do this? If she know how deadly goblins are and what they do to females and stuff like that. Well, the point is, she was so scared of the goblins and what they did to her that she thought if she was scared other people the same way, that they will understand her pain and her feelings, and that they will also be scared and want to raise against them. So basically, she was trying to make everyone aware of how deadly goblins are, because a lot of people just sweep them under the rug like they're nothing. When in a group or army, they very well balance. She was trying to get that to people's head, but adventurers and warriors are not caring about goblins, because to them they're small fries, even though the things that they do to people, especially females, as we've seen, is horrible. Not to mention, we got 2 to 3 flashbacks of this episode of what the goblins was basically doing to her. They didn't get to show it, but after the first episode, we can imagine what they did to her. And they did it multiple times, while stabbing her and cutting her up. Not to mention, the leader of that goblin pack actually burned off her eyes. So she's blind. That's why her eyes are pure white. She lost her eyesight because of that goblin. So her backstory and the trauma she went to is some serious, serious stuff. And what makes this episode kind of hard to ever watch it or read the dialogue is that stuff like this does happen. We don't really hear about it that much in the news, but especially in other countries, things like this are going on. And what makes it worse is that it's actually humans doing it to other humans. So there is some truth to what she was saying, but I guess the main point is, was she wrong about how she went about it? Maybe she should have found another way to try to get people to be on her side and understand how dangerous Goblin is. Not have these goblins being there with equipment and doing the things that they done. So then she has her summoning there, which is that white alligator. That's her summoning. And then she cries to Goblin Slayer saying, will you save me? And he was like, no, I'm not going to save you. But if you ever need me to slay goblins for you, or you ever need me, you can call upon me. And she was like, even in my dreams? And he's like, yep, even in your dreams. And she was like, I will cherish you. And then we get the ending part of the episode where basically Goblin Slayer is going back home with the guy, his friends, his group. And they all talking about different things they want to do. And Goblin Slayer wants to try to make ice cream. Since last episode, he got the information on how to make it. He wants to make it. And everybody's like, oh, I want some. Especially the lizard guy. The lizard guy was so happy, he started slapping his tail on the ground. Saw her that it was shaking the caravan. And the guy was like, what are you doing? And our female MC was like, oh, we're sorry. And she was playing Peacekeeper for that moment. And even the dwarf wanted some. And we had a funny scene between Goblin Slayer and the elf chick because earlier in the episode, when they was done, slaying the goblins, thanks to that dangerous plan Goblin Slayer had of them hiding under the mirror where all this goes down, and they could have died, she gets upset and she kicks him down a small hill. So when Goblin says, do you want some? And she said, yeah. He was like, but don't kick me if it turns out bad. And she's like, don't worry, whatever. I'm not going to kick you. You satisfied? And it just left off in that funny moment. But this was a really good episode. Enjoyed it a lot. I feel real bad for the Storm Maiden. And I know in the manga and light novels it's a lot worse. And there's a lot of females that, they didn't even show it. But females getting raped by goblins and stuff. And the things that goblins just do to them. So it's really sad how this world works, and that for some odd reason there's so many goblins. I guess because everyone underestimates them and don't care about hunting them, that they just keep procreating and no one's really doing anything about it. That's why Goblin Slayer decided to do something about it and step up to that plate, which is why he got his name, Goblin Slayer. But yeah, this is episode 9 of Goblin Slayer. Tell me down below what you thought about this episode and what you liked about it, and who's your favorite character. Like, comment, share, subscribe, share with your family and friends. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, because if you don't hit it, YouTube a lot of the times won't give you notifications of the people you subscribe to, so make sure not just for me, but for anyone you're subscribed to, you hit that notification bell. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.